The Notorious RBG. A lot of things I learned from this book review. I'm just going to speak in general. Not a whole lot of notes here, but just going to be talking. So, open up with a quote from her. She would always quote MLK that said, "The arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice." And but she added to it, and she said, "If there is a steadfast commitment to see the task through to completion." So again, that's MLK quote, "The arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice." Then she added to it, "If there is a steadfast commitment to see the task through to completion." Of course, the Supreme Court justice just died, so we have a moment of silence. Or like I said, so this was a fun project for the for her and for the writers of the book. Of course, it's in comparison to the Notorious B.I.G. If anybody don't know who that is, I'm sure. But Notorious Big B.I.G. hip hop superstar. But of course, both of them, and there was some comparisons with them too. Of course, she's from Brooklyn. Everybody know Biggie from Brooklyn. Both of them, yeah, she came up. She had a little rough coming up. Not terrible, like Biggie, but she had a little rough. Her and and they were actually looking at the differences between them two. Of course, Biggie being a male, her being a female, um, him him being black, her being Jewish. Uh, but they had a lot of fun with this project, and she enjoyed it. And they couldn't everybody sing the Saturday Night Live skits and all that kind of stuff, which is good. It was just a bunch of stuff that I did not know that she did. Actually, some brilliant stuff that she did, and some stuff that I just had no clue about. I'm surprised. It's weird because you'll find out so much about people sometimes after they gone. But didn't know that Clinton gave her the nomination. No, that's probably something that a lot of people probably knew. I didn't know, but Clinton gave her that he nominated her to be the Supreme Court justice. I didn't know that. 1999 is when she was diagnosed with cancer. Uh, of course, she battled that for years. Um, but I did know about the 2000 George Bush Al Gore battle. That she was one of the four dissenters of that. That was something I said, "Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. That was like 20 years ago, but that was a big deal at that time to be one of the ones to do that." But so as far as the writers with the book, of course, it's Shana Knizkhnik. Hope I said that correctly, and it was also Irin Carmon. Irin Carmon, MSNBC reporter. She she does a lot with MSNBC. She does reporting. She is a media personality, so she does a lot with that. But with Shauna, she actually did another book, Philadelphia. Actually, me and her share the same birthday. Found that interesting. Shauna, she Jewish, uh, and she was the one who started the blog, the Notorious RBG, when she was in college and over in Columbia Law School. She started that blog. Of course, it took off. The course went viral, with it, and everybody just gravitated to it. It went. I forget how many views that it had, but after that, of course, they teamed up with. She teamed up with Aaron, and they got together and they put this project together. They enjoyed it. It was fun, and Shauna, she was a fan of Biggie, of course, which I thought was nice. It was a really good project. Like I said, there's a lot of things that RBG did, and in this book too is it's a nice little book. It's not super detailed. I give you a glimpse of some of the stuff inside. I got a few pictures of her when she was young and growing up. Let's see. I don't know if y'all can see all that. A few things in there, but there's a few pictures in there of her. It's nice. It was a nice little project. She had a lot of quotes that she would go over. It's a lot of compare. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to show y'all. This the names of some of the chapters, and some people who already read this book and know about this, but I thought this was completely hilarious. So the chapters, the names on some of the chapters is, first one is Notorious. Second one is been in this game for years. Oh man. Number 3 is I got a story to tell. Number 4 is stereotypes of a lady misunderstood. 5 is don't let them hold you down. Reach for the stars. 6, real love. 7, my team supreme. 8, your words just hypnotize me. 9, I just love your flashy ways. 10, but I just can't quit. Oh man! And then in the appendix, she had a few things that she was gonna say. She actually had a nice little line that she said in Juicy, one of Biggie lines, but I'll let y'all read that. But she went over that, and she had her like she said to all of the when Biggie beginning, like, this goes out to all of the teachers who said I amount to nothing. You know that line Biggie said, and this, she said, this goes out to all the people who thought I wouldn't be a judge or wouldn't be a lawyer, wouldn't be go to the Supreme Court, and then she gives her rant on it. So it was nice. That was good. Yeah. Then one of the things I thought was brilliant is one of the cases that she took with the Mitts case, Charles E. Mitts, and this is where a guy. This was back in the day when a lot of men weren't taking the they weren't getting deductions for for child care and caregiving and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, he took a deduction, and the IRS wouldn't allow him to take it because he was a man. So anyway, his case was up, and then she looked at it. Somebody sent that to her. She looked at it, read over it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we'll take that." And that was the first case that her and her husband Marty did, and they fought that. And that was a good case for her because she saw through it. She saw that in a way, like, if you're fighting for women rights, and a lot of people at that time, especially back then, a lot of people couldn't understand that as far as women rights. So she said, well, I can just take a male case where he's being mistreated, and if you don't understand women being mistreated, maybe you can understand a man being mistreated just in reverse. And it was brilliant. And she brought a lot of cases like that up with a lot of male complaints. Actually, a lot of her allies was angered, about it, because they said, why you keep bringing up all these male complaints, with all these different cases, it's the woman's rights projects that's not being talked about. But anyway, she said that her allies really had a hard time with that, according to the book. Said that it was a women's rights movement and all that, and why you keep bringing up all these men. And so she said later that it's not the women's movement, it's the woman and men's movement. So, she did that. But I thought that was brilliant. If you don't understand it one way, then how about you understand it this way? And that was, just perfect. And it worked. And later on, people said that she was a genius for doing that. But, of course, stuff like that comes in time after you get criticized for it, and then it finally works. And there you go. Even at a New York Times reporter had reported that at a party that somebody had said to her that, hey, at a dinner party, they said that she worked on behalf of the women's liberation. That's who she is. And then she vehemently interrupted him and said, it is not a woman's liberation. It's a man's and woman's liberation. It's a men and woman's liberation, excuse me. So she was definitely about liberating both. And one of her quotes to let you know how strongly she felt about that was that she said that one of her quotes, he said, "For women to be equal, men had to be free." I said, "Oh, okay." So I read it. So he said again, he said, "For women to be equal, men had to be free." So I said, "Wow, that's strong." So that's how strongly, she felt about that, as she had to put it. But again, with Clinton nominating her, and actually Clinton considered her a moderate. And as we know, anybody that know Clinton really wasn't a far left Democrat, and he definitely wasn't a Republican. He was more in the middle. Clinton definitely was a moderate. He considered her a moderate too. So it's one of the reasons why he chose her. She Somebody asked her before, did she always want to be a judge? And she said, nope, not until Jimmy Carter came into office. And President Carter, she said, President Carter he was determined to draw on the talent of all the people, not just some of the people. And that was her in 2010. So she had a very positive marriage. They were together. She was married to Marty for 56 years. That's strong. And in their roles, she did a lot of she played her, she played her role. She did her thing. She was her job pretty much came first, in their marriage. Marty had his own practice too, but a lot of times he would sacrifice things to do stuff around the house, to do stuff with the kids and stuff like that. So, and they were able to make it work. And actually, back then, that was not looked at as the way to go. Of course, it was looked at as the man working and her and she should be home. So they got a lot of flack about that, because the roles were reversed a little bit. Even though he had a practice, but obviously, yeah, I mean, she was a judge. So he took a step back and he practiced law when he could. He did a few other things. He actually did pretty good. He made a lot of money, but he always would sacrifice his job according to the book, and allowed RBG to do her thing. But he made a lot of money, because actually he made so much money that he was actually able to retire early, which freed him up to be at home a lot more, do stuff, the cooking, the cleaning, the housekeeping, and all of that. But he had money, so that was interesting role. But it was a lot. Again, this is a fun book, and there's a lot going on now in the world with her passing, as far as them taking her seat. But I won't get into that, the politics of it. Everybody have their opinion on it. But as far as the book, this is a great book to read. They actually even have a kid book for this too. It's like a little easier read, but this is a easy read. A kid book, they would have to be under 12 or something to not be able to read this book. It's easy. Like I said, I can read it. I'm not the best reader. If I can read it, they can read it. Well, but it is a child book out there too. So there's RBG. There are a lot of compelling things. Feminist fighter, race fighter, I want to say, if you want to say, for racial justice. She was inspired by Thurgood Marshall also. So, there's a lot of things she did. She went through a lot. So, coming up. But anyway, I just want to say that this book definitely is an easy read. So I don't know, probably you could knock it out. Somebody that reads fast, you probably could knock it out in about 3 hours, something like that. Somebody reads slow, probably take you 5. I thought it was funny too was her trainer, her physical trainer, Bryant Johnson. He when he first started training her, he wasn't getting a response out of it, so he was concerned, like, is she gonna let me go? Is it gonna be this? And then one of the legal secretaries there said, look, if she don't like you, you would not be here. And they went through different things. It was a time when she had kind of got dizzy and she had to call the ambulance and all that. He had to get the ambulance for her, get her on the back, and he would say stuff to her like, well, this ain't gonna get you out of doing them push-ups and all that. So she liked him a lot. You actually got a lot of, other referrals, from her, and a lot of her colleagues started using them. But everybody knows that from looking at the news and stuff. That's not news. Yeah. So again, uh, good read, good book, fun book. I would say fun project. Not, it's not really any homework with this book. Pass it on to the kids, boys and girls. Um, yep, the Notorious RBG. So there you go. Yep. All right, y'all. Oh, like and share.